Welcome back to Action for the Soul. I didn't record anything I just said. I got to do it again. So in a nutshell, Yaakov is leaving his house. He's got the brachot. His mother says that his brother wants to kill him. He's got to go north and find a wife. Parasha begins with Vayetze Yaakov mi Beersheva v'yelech Harana. He says that he leaves Beersheva and he goes to Harana. The question is, why does Pasuk use the word Vayetze, not Vayelech? Rashi points out the word Vayetze is because when he leaves, that Yaakov's presence is felt. And the question is, what does that mean? His presence was felt. When Abraham leaves, there's no mention of the word Vayetze. It just says Lech Lecha, right? It doesn't say Vayetze Abraham, but over here it's different. Why? Because Yitzchak is still there. Even though Yitzchak is there, the tzaddik is there, when Yaakov leaves, he was an unknown man, and his presence was felt. Meaning the fact that he left, there was something missing. And they say that, when you're involved in community stuff, family stuff, you want to be the person that is doing and giving so much that when you're not there, people recognize that, hey, something's off. Where did that person go? Where are they? We miss them. But he leaves a roshem, he leaves this a mark on the place that he's at, and then when he walks away, that is a feeling that is palpable. V'yifgav makom, Pasuk continues, and he says that he comes upon this place, v'yelen sham, and he rests over there, kiba shemesh, because the night came, the night had set. V'yikach me'avnei hamakom, he takes stones from the place, v'yasem mireshitov, he puts it underneath his head, v'yishkav b'makom. He puts some stones around him because he wants some kind of protection. He's in the wilderness. He's looking for a very quick tent over here. Now remember the words over here. It says v'yikach me'avnei hamakom. He takes stones. Later on, this word will come back to again. Okay, stones is an interesting theme in the whole entire parsha, which we'll talk about. But this is what I want to get to. Vayachlom, he falls asleep and he has a dream. V'hinei sulam mutzav artzo v'rosho magia hashamayma. He has a dream, and there's a ladder which is touching the earth, and it's the rest of it is up in the heavens. V'hinei malachei Elokim olim v'yordim, and he has these heavenly angels are ascending and descending on it. Right? And this is, why is he dreaming over here? The only dream that we hear before this is Avimelech, where God comes to Avimelech and warns him about not touching Rivka. Vayachlom v'hinei sulam mutzav artzo. Okay, he has this dream of a ladder. And the question is, well, what are these dreams and why are they here? Why is it important? Why are we even talking about it? But let's keep going. That's question number 2. And God is, standing over him. V'yomar ani Hashem, I am Hashem, Elokei Avraham Avicha. I am the God of your father Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak, and also the God of Yitzchak. This is a strange pasuk. What do you mean? It says Elokei Avraham Avicha. Pasuk should say Elokei Avraham, Elokei Yitzchak Avicha. Yitzchak was his father, not Avraham. Why does pasuk say that Avraham was his father when in fact Yitzchak was his father? The land that you're sleeping on, it's holy land. Where is he sleeping? Where did he fall asleep? On Temple Mount, in Jerusalem. Okay. So, and then he gives him a blessing. Your children will be like the kafar haaretz, will be as numerous as the dust of the earth. I'm going to send you west, east, north, south, all in the directions. As a matter of fact, this combination is interesting because this is the combination that Yoshua used to come and to conquer the land of Israel. But your people, your children will be blessed through you. All the people on the planet will be blessed through you. I'm going to be with you, God said. And I'm going to watch over you. Wherever you go. I will bring you back to this land. You will, until I will not neglect you, I will never leave you, I will be faithful to you, until I have fulfilled that which I promised Abraham regarding you. What was the promise that Abraham said? Hashem said to Abraham, I'm going to give you this land. You're going to inherit the land. Okay, so God says, don't worry about it, I'm going to be with you. V'yikatz Yaakov mishinatav. And Yaakov awoke from his sleep. Vayomer, and he said, Achen yesh Hashem b'makom hazeh. He says, there's God in this place. V'anochi lo yadati, and I wasn't aware of it. V'yira v'yomar ma norah hamakom hazeh. And he became afraid. He said, how awesome, this place is so powerful, it's a spiritually powerful place. En zeh ki im bait Elokim hazeh shar hashamayim. He said, this is Mount Moriah. This is the place of the future house of Hashem. This is where the Beit HaMikdash will be built. This is the gateway to heaven. Okay, great. V'yashkem Yaakov b'boker. He wakes up in the morning. V'yikach et ha'even asher sam harishatav. He takes the stone that he placed underneath his head. Remember before I pointed out the word stone? Before it said stones in the plural, and now it's a stone in the singular. Okay? He uses the stone as a matzeva, as a monument, v'yitzok shemen al rosha, and he takes a little oil and he pours on top of it. V'yikrat shem makom ahu Bet El. He calls this place Bet El, the house of God, the house of the Lord. V'ulam luz shem ha'ir l'roshana. Right? Even though the original name of this place is called Luz. Okay, and he makes a net there, and that's the beginning of the story. Let's kind of unpack this. Okay, so let's just go backwards first. Okay, Vayashkem. Okay, and he says he wakes up and he puts the stone. What's the stone? The Chachamim point out that he took 12 stones that were put around his head, and they became one. Only when Yaakov felt that he saw unity in his vision, that his children would be able to kind of band together. That is our superpower as Jews, not like what's happening in Israel right now, unfortunately. When Jews are united, they are unstoppable, and the world knows it. They will do anything and everything in their power to divide us. They divide, they conquer. We're united, we are unstoppable. That is the idea of becoming an Even. The word Even is an acronym for Av, Em, mother, father, Ben, Bat, brother, daughter, and Nechadim, and grandchildren. This is why we take a stone and we put it on a burial plot. One is the mitzvah of burying somebody. Number two is this idea of intergenerationality, right? We're all interconnected somehow. We're all brothers and sisters. We're all nechadim. We're all connected somehow. And we mourn the loss of all people. Okay, so the stone is this thing that is not going anywhere. It's firm. He has the stones that become a stone. Divided, united, you prosper. You get the blessing of God. Okay, fine. He doesn't realize that he's in this interesting place. And he says this very strange word. He says, Vayikatz Yaakov, Vayomer Achen yesh Hashem b'makom hazeh. Aha, truly there is God in this place. The word Achen, the Chachamim point out, is an acronym for Aryeh, for Kruvim, and Nesher. Okay, 3 different images that the Chachamim point out that are actually on the Kisei HaKavod. Each one of the legs of the Kisei HaKavod has an image on it. You have a Aryeh, a lion. You have a Kruvim. A Kruv is a face of an angel. You know, often in the old world, if you see those paintings of little babies with wings and a baby face, that's a Kruv. Okay, that Kruvim. And Nun is Nesher. Okay, you have the eagle there as well. Okay, great. Then, so he sees that, hey, you have this these amazing things in the Kisei HaKavod. He literally sees God's throne. He says, wow, I see it. Va'anochi lo yadati. What do you mean, va'anochi lo yadati? Yeah, obviously you didn't know about it. So he says more than that. He says, if you look at the word va'anochi, the word anochi is the same, has the same otiot as achen. Aleph, chaf, nun. The difference is yud. Va'anochi lo yadati, the yud is for Yaakov. He was the 4th pillar. As a matter of fact, the Mikubalim point out that the angels are coming up and down, right? Coming down and up. Actually, the pasuk actually says explicitly, V'nei Hashem nitzam alav. No, sorry. He says he has a dream. V'nei sulam mutzav artzo v'rosho m'gieh shemaim. The sulam, this ladder, is planted on the earth, and its head is all the way up in heaven. V'hinei malachim elokim olim v'yordim bo. They're going up and down, ascending and descending. And everyone points out this is a weird thing. If you have a stairway to heaven, so to speak, shouldn't the angels be descending and ascending? Why were they ascending and descending? It sounds like they were situated on earth and going back and coming down, rather from in their heavenly abode, coming from above and coming down. So the Mekubalim also point out over here that the reason why the angels are coming down and up and down is because they're confused. I see, it says, the face on the Kisei HaKavod. I see this face on the throne above, which is the face of Yaakov. And I see the same face down here. Yaakov reaches a high level of spirituality. And now, on a spiritual plane, his face has the face of one of these 4 pillars on the Kisei HaKavod. And they don't know where God is, because God sits on his throne. So why is there this image of this godliness down here? The Gemara points out that this face of Yaakov was the same face of Adam Harishon, that the perfectly created man was expressed on this particular chair. And Yaakov reaches this level of Adam Harishon, this high level of high spiritual being. And therefore the Malachim are unsure whether they're going up and down, up and down. Now, what is this dream that he has? What is this dream of Yaakov? What did the dream necessary here. So the Chachamim point out, and you'll see different opinions as to how we understand the dream. But you have, for example, the Ramban, who says that this is not a normal dream. He says this is a type of prophecy over here. You have Rabbi Reuven saying the same thing. He says the vision described in this chapter was not standard of sort of a dream that the average person would fall asleep. But on the other hand, the experience was also not mere divine inspiration. He says it's a hybrid of two different things. But either way, it's God communicating with man. Now, why is he having these dreams right here, right now? What is the Vayetze? What took him so long? The Chachamim point out that he doesn't leave right away. Instead, he does a detour. Rashi points out that he goes to Yeshiva Shem Be'ever and he spends 14 years there. Why is he pausing? Well, number one is he knows he's going to be confronted with Lavan, who is a difficult person. Lavan is Lev, right, with a nun at the end, and it's also Ben, right? It's a hybrid of a heart and a child. And Lavan is someone who was only selfishly, narcissistically thinking about his own wants and needs. He was a selfish, self-centered person. Where Yaakov is having a dream about what? About the survival of his children. He doesn't even have kids, and he's already thinking about his kids. I think this is a very powerful lesson over here that we need to unpack. And there's one other word I think that is a very important to kind of to use to help make my point. The pasuk says, "V'ichlom v'hinei sulam mutzav atzov rosho magia v'shemaima v'hinei malachei Elokim olim v'yordim bo." They're ascending and descending on it. If I was to ask you, what is the on it? You would say, well, Rabbi, it says that he dreamed and there was a ladder. It was firmly planted on the ground and it was going upward into heaven. The on it at the end of that verse, and the angels of God were ascending and descending on it, must be referring to the ladder. But I don't think that's what's going on over here. I think that on it is on him. Bo. We don't know if it's the ladder or on Yaakov. Now the question is, well, why are the angels ascending and descending on Yaakov? Well, be mindful that all of our actions create a spiritual energy. And they're coming from down here because they were emanating from Yaakov's actions. What is his actions? He spent all these years learning, spent time developing a moral compass. He spent all this time having a deep sense of self. And he recognized there's an opportunity. Dreaming is important, but if you dream without seizing the opportunity that is given before you, you're missing out on exactly what that dream is supposed to accomplish. The whole reason why we dream is to create a vision of a better, greater future for ourselves. That is why we dream. We simply dream because we want to we want to reimagine what our future looks like. We want to be able to get out and do something completely different. But that's not how it works for most of us. For most of us, we get stuck in the day-to-day things. We don't seize the moment. We're not carpe diem. We're not seizing the moment. Instead, we allow things to repeat over and over again. The dream is the ability to break out. So what's the breakout over here? Yaakov says, oh my gosh, my brother wants to kill me. I'm in trouble. He sees the angels coming up and down, up and down. He sees each angel represent the nations of the world, and each one represents a different time the Jewish people will be exiled. And he's like, oh my gosh, where am I going? What am I doing? How can I do this to my children? They're not even born yet. They're going to be enslaved. And he sees the last one. It says that the last one, the angel of Edom, which is the exile we're in right now, it's going high and high and high. And he says, I can't do this anymore. Which is why, by the way, right after the dream, God reassures him, don't worry about it. I'm going to be with you. He says, I am the father of Abraham and Yitzchak. Why does it say Elohei Abraham Avicha? Because he's saying, you're not like Yitzchak. You're a spiritual heir of Abraham, not Yitzchak. Abraham was the guy that left, went out into the world, and he was involved in all kinds of things, and he engaged with humanity. Yitzchak was stuck in Israel. That's not your legacy. You're not the legacy of Yitzchak. No, you're not like your father. Don't be like your dad. You got to be like Abraham. You have to go back and build a family that goes and engages the world. How do we do that? By becoming dreamers. It's interesting because the verse actually says over here that the blessing you're going to have is that Vayeze, your children will be as the dust of the earth, the east, that's north, west, south. V'nivruchu b'cha kol mishpachot hadama, and all the families on the earth will be blessed through you and your descendants. How do we become a blessing through the world? Well, are we living our dreams? Are we seizing those moments in time and taking advantage of them? Are we dreaming about a better world? Are we becoming a mamlechet kohanim and a goy kadosh? Are we becoming a nation of priests? Are we becoming an or goyim? Do we really care about the world, or are we just like Lavan, lev ben, only thinking about me and my own wants and my own needs? This is the challenge that Yaakov is facing. Do I have descendants that are going to be selfish, or do they understand that the whole purpose of life is to love, to give, to be a true giver like God? How do I get there? How do I overcome my selfish nature, my childish nature? Is by dreaming about becoming a bigger, better, greater self. Yaakov has all these fears. He ends up resting in this powerful place. He has this vision. God reminds him, don't give up on your dreams. I will be there with you. Not only that, your children will be the source of blessing. But by the way, did that blessing come true? Yes. Let's look for a moment throughout history about where every single Jewish concentration of Jews ended up and what that meant for that particular nation. Let's go back to Spain. Powerhouse, right? Jews are expelled in 1492, but where do they all go? They go to the Ottoman Empire. Boom, Ottoman Empire becomes the next superpower. They end up concentrating in different parts of Europe, France, Germany, England. They become superpowers, interestingly. The United States of America, the largest concentration of Jews, becomes the ultimate superpower, right? Jews have a bracha that they bring to the people around them. And I'm not worried about America. As long as Jews are here, America will be a very prosperous place. But it's not enough to be prosperous. Money, power are nice things. But if it's not grounded in a moral clarity, it's not grounded in me driving a better, greater version of me, it's almost pointless. How do you make your dreams come true? By jumping on it, never giving up, seeing every single day as a moment in time that gives you the opportunity of redreaming and redoing everything you possibly can to make that dream a reality. With that, Vayetze, you too have the power of breaking out and leaving a roshim on the place you come from. It comes with having the moral clarity, it comes from coming to classes, it comes from learning and studying and sharing these deep spiritual ideas, but together, I promise you, we can make this world a better, greater place. Be'ezrat Hashem, we will see our hostages return soon. Be'ezrat Hashem, Chanukah time, it's going to happen. I'm telling you, it's going to happen soon. A couple of weeks, they'll be returned, Be'ezrat Hashem. We will see the world moving from a state of darkness into a state of light. You know, just to end, the stones becoming a stone. It says over there that he anointed the stone as a monument. Where did he get the oil from? He didn't carry oil with him. Midrash says that when that stone became one, he lifted it up, and underneath it he found a jug of oil. And what was so interesting about this jug of oil is when you poured out the oil, the jug was still filled with oil. It was a miraculous jug. Abraham, Yaakov, is very deeply connected to the miracle of Chanukah. It says that when he died, by the way, he was buried on Chanukah. Okay, there were 36 crowns that are placed on top of his coffin. There were 36 candles that we light on Chanukah, not including the shamash. There are 36 candles. Yaakov represents overcoming darkness in the future. His ability to unite the stones is a symbol of the future of us coming together and pouring that oil, that endless oil, no matter what happens to that oil, it keeps burning and burning and burning and burning and burning. That all happened in the merit of Yaakov. As a matter of fact, later on in next week's Parashat Vayeshe, when he fights that angel, it says he goes back for a jug. What was the jug? It was this miraculous jug. And some even say, the Alshach says, that the jug of oil that the Maccabees found later in the temple was the same jug of oil that Yaakov went to go back for. Never give up on your dreams. They'll always come true. Never give up on the circumstance you find yourself in. To be a Jew means to be a believer in all possibilities. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom Avarach. Thank you so much for listening. Looking forward to continuing the conversation with Be'ezrat Hashem next week. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom.